Hello and welcome. Evil West review. This is a game that when it was trailered, I got very excited. Not gonna lie. So my pre-order, I tried my hardest to reach out to the devs as fast as I possibly could because I wanted to try and secure this review and get it done. I didn't get the response fast enough, so I did in fact go out and buy the Evil West on the Xbox Series X to start my review for you guys. It took us 3 streams, three days worth of streaming to pretty much get through the entire game. But is the game good? Is it worth your money? That's the point of this review video. So let's crack on with it. I've got the same template open that I always use, and we will go step by step through everything that we hit as a criteria to give you guys a good amount of information to decide whether or not you want to go out and purchase this game. I keep my reviews as spoiler free as possible. Yes, we're live on Trovo right now, so chat over here is going to be hopefully buzzing for you guys, so I'm recording and streaming at the same time. So Evil West on the Xbox Series X, a 18 plus PEGI game. I love the majority of 18 rated games that are specifically like this because it's all gore and I love it. The size of the game is around 35 gigabytes, so it's not a baby. It's a medium baby on your hard drive. It's not too massive. The price that I managed to pick up my copy was $42.42 from Shop 2. It's £45 in game currently, and the digital price on the Microsoft Store is £50. So I managed to save myself around about £8 by going for the disc version. Publisher Focus Entertainment, developed by Flying Wild Hog, which is a mouthful, and it's a single player online, also co-op, 2-player co-op. And yeah, let's crack on with it. Let's go. So the very first thing that I like to look at, because I feel it carries the majority of the weight in any game that we do as a review that we play, is the soundtrack. And I'm not going to lie, when it comes down to the soundtrack, 90% of the soundtrack is absolutely freaking awesome. It really is. The music definitely fits the tone, definitely fits the environment, and fits very well from the game. There were quite a few segments though that had no music playing in the background, and a lot of those segments within the game were very action-packed, gory, explosive. There was so much going on, and a Doom type song playing while all that carnage was going on would have definitely added more weight to the combat and to the game itself, and it would have definitely hyped up the player. So a missed opportunity there. I think we encountered 3 big fights where we really didn't have that much of a vibing music to rock on with, and I just feel it was a missed opportunity there at some point. The rest of the soundtrack though, I can't fault, I can't complain. I really did enjoy it. I really did. The effects and the voice acting, the game sound effects are phenomenal. I always wear a headset when I play my games. I'm currently using a Turtle Beach brand that I stick with because I find them very reliable, and I'm getting it directly into my brain holes, and the explosions in this game are so satisfying. They really are. The TNT crates that you blow up, the dynamite bombs, everything that explodes in this game is awesome. The guns sound crisp, loud, very vibrant when you're using them. I'm not going to talk about the weapons as a whole that you get to use because that would be a teeny spoiler, but the variety of weapons that you go through all have their unique sounds, and they all sound absolutely fantastic. Can't fault it at all. Loved it. The voice acting, very on point, and I mean very on point. I can't fault it. The voice acting was superb. So great job on that. Well done. Did a fantastic job. It really set the tone throughout the game, especially the situations that are happening, the emergency voicing, everything. Not emergency. The when everything's going to shit. And all the characters are screaming hell bloody Mary. It's perfect. To me, again, can't fault it. I really enjoyed it. Graphics, texturing, and weather effects. Now we played on the enhanced version, the Series X version, and we actually had a friend who was playing it on the Xbox One version, and they could tell. They said in chat, they said your game looks insane compared to mine. So it really does show that the power of the console is pushing and really enhancing the game, and it was breathtaking. There are some areas, there are some levels in this game that are definitely superior to others, but this game looked absolutely breathtaking to look at. It was gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and I can't fault it at all. I can't. We don't really knock off points in a review for graphics, because a game could look like a retro RPG, Resident Evil type old school block game and still be a phenomenal game. So it wouldn't be fair to knock points or add points because of just the way that the game looks. It's how the graphics themselves enhance the user experience. We didn't have any real problems. There were some little white flashy blocks flashing every now and again at the home base around the lower level where the doctor beds were, and where your father was. When the camera was turning, we had very, very small white squares flicker from time to time. I could recreate it too, so it's something that definitely needs a patch, something that will have to be rolled down through an update itself. And I don't think that's going to take them too long to see. I really, really, really don't. I had the game running on quality mode over performance. I really, really wanted this game to pop visually for me. And to be fair, even then, it was not suffering from any real frame drops. It really wasn't being rendered badly. It looked so smooth. And it looked, like I said, it looked absolutely phenomenal. So I can't in any way fault it. I can't. Weather effects. There are some areas that have an ambient effect, a fog effect, smoke effect, fiery effect. We had some very wet areas itself, rainy areas itself, and it looked freaking awesome. Again, it all ties into graphically. This game looks beautiful. And one of my favorite areas was the black and green sludgy area. It looked so good, so good. But the weather, there is an area that you get to visit with this. There's like a snowy area that you go to. It looks fantastic. I can't talk negatively about it. I can't. Character model design. The game looks very, very Van Helsing like, and I came up with a three game merger, which kind of describes this game very, very, very well. It plays very, very similar to Darksiders and God of War, in a Van Helsing setting with vampires, and it looks great. Like I said, the characters, they all look different. They're all unique. They all look fantastic. The enemy designs, oh god, they're so good. They really are. They're absolutely fantastic. Some of the bosses look terrifying to fight, and they look so gruesome. And the executions that you do on the models is so good. It really, really is. Maybe just a small lack in enemy variety, just a small lack, but I really can't complain. I really can't. I think the character models are beautiful, and you do have the ability in the game menus to look closely at the models and the weapons that you're using. And yeah, can't fault it. It fits the era. It looks the era, and it fits, and it plays well. It really does. Gameplay and mechanics. Kind of already hit the nail there when I said it's like a Darksiders God of War type playstyle. Cameras behind the character, so you can see yourself in full frame. Yeah, I can't really add more to that, to be fair. That's exactly how its playstyle is as well. And I'm not a massive fan of either Darksiders or God of War, but I've played all the recent stuff. But yeah, that's that. I can't really add to it. That's pretty much the gameplay itself in a nutshell. I'm not going to reveal. Again, I do everything I can to keep it spoiler free. But the mechanics, they work. I didn't have an issue with them. But there is obviously something that it did render. It impacted the gameplay. It did impact the gameplay, and that was the forced progression within the game. There are a lot of levels that prevent you from backtracking, and this game does have collectibles, shinies, monies that you can pick up, cosmetics that you can find to just to give you more within the game. And there were quite a few times where we went past a collectible that we could see later on, but because the game had forced progression, it prevented you from backtracking. I hate forced progression so much. I really do. I despise forced progression. I don't think it should ever be in video games, in my opinion, because especially with a game that tracks the collectibles that you have found, it tracks the money that you found, and highlights at the end of the well, you can actually check mid-game, but it also highlights it outside of the level that you're doing, what you found and what you missed. So you can then replay the level again to find the rest of the stuff that you didn't find. If forced progression wasn't a thing, the player would be able to backtrack to certain points and try to collect and find the stuff that they were missing. This game doesn't do it that well, because once you get to certain areas, once you've pushed a bit too far, or if you've taken the wrong path, you're locked and you can't go back until you replay the whole level again. I don't like that. I really don't. But that is my opinion after all. That is just my opinion. Replayability and game difficulty. Whew. The biggest kicker. Firstly, I'll say that the game gives you the option to replay any level. Once you're outside of a mission, you can go to the level list and you can choose which one you want to do, and it'll put you straight back into it with everything that you've currently got to find any of the things that you've missed. I like that. Yes, great. That's awesome. But when you kill the last boss in the game, it locks you out of your game data and prevents you from going back to certain levels to find the rest of the collectibles. I really had to double think this. I thought, no, this can't be, it must be a mistake. But every option on the main menu triggers New Game Plus. And when you try to activate New Game Plus, it tells you that every level gets reset and you get put back at the very beginning of the game. Now, this irritated the hell out of me. I think this was so badly done, because if there was, let's say, for example, let's say I was so fantastic at finding all the collectibles in the game that just one level, 80% into the game, I missed one collectible. Just one. There is an achievement for finding all of it, of course. And I didn't realize that at the end of the game, after defeating the last boss, you're locked out of that option to go back. I would not have killed the last boss. I would have waited. There should be a prompt before you engage on the last boss warning you of this. And I'm dead serious. By continuing through this boss fight, you accept that you can no longer go back to level select mode and choose the levels that you've previously done to find the rest of the collectibles. And that annoyed me a lot. It truly did. Though yes, replayability is there by triggering New Game Plus and playing throughout the game again, the replayability is 100% there, and to find all the collectibles and the cosmetics. You should never force that on a player at all without pre-warning them first, letting them make the decision themselves, because I am very irritated that I can't go back and play some of those levels again just to find the rest of the collectibles. I have to now restart the whole thing in New Game Plus, which makes it a little bit harder and resets all the levels back to square one. So that irritated the crap out of me, because it says it right on the main menu. When you click New Game Plus, all levels get reset and you start from the very beginning. That irritated the shit out of me a lot. Any game customization and stats building, there is a lot in this game. And I truly mean a lot. You find a few small visual cosmetics for your character, as in clothing color, weapon color, but this game has a ton. Sorry. This game has a ton of unlockables that you can find, abilities that you can find. You can even find abilities in treasure crates too. So some of the abilities in the ability tree cannot be activated unless you found them within the levels themselves. And I freaking love that idea because it encourages the player to search more and to look around more. But there is, in terms of stats building, you can pretty much perk your character exactly how you want. And there is also the option of respecking by activating a blue electronic panel inside some missions and also outside of the main story. When you're at your home base, you can pretty much just reactivate the panel and it will come up alerting you know you can respec. I think that's fantastic. I think given the player the choice of switching around some of their talent skills to choose how they want their build, I think that is freaking awesome. I love that in video games. I do, because sometimes you do accidentally buy or unlock an ability and later on think, oops, I didn't really want that one, but it's too late. No, you can now respec. I think that's cool. Really, really cool. It also adds to the replayability as well, adding more time into the game itself. Story, if applicable. Oh, yes, it was story driven. It was kind of easy to follow. I'm not going to lie. I didn't find the story too difficult to understand or too difficult to follow. I do like vampires. I do like vampire stories. I do like vampires and werewolves. I love that whole genre of stuff. Excuse me. So going around fighting different variations of vampires. yeah. I enjoyed it. It would have been nice to have more like vampiric humanoid bosses. But that's not really a point downer. That's just there's a particular boss that you fight, a humanoid vampire itself, and I think a few more of them would have been nice with unique special abilities. Don't get me wrong, I love the whole transformation thing, right? When they transform into big beasts. I think that's badass. It truly is. It is cool to watch. I do like fighting humanoid vampires too, though, as well. Super strong, super powerful, super magical. But yeah, in terms of the story, it's not too complex. I don't think you'll struggle to understand what's going on. There are documentations, collectibles that you can pick up and read that gives you extra information about what's going on. Some of the people that you're with, some of their background history as well. If you're a collectible nut like myself, you'll try to find every collectible that you can possibly find. And it's a nice touch. It is a nice touch. Sorry, I'm still recovering. Online co-op modes, features, and stability. This game does indeed have online co-op 2-player, so you can pretty much play with a ghost version of yourself controlled by a friend of yours. I wanted to test this out. I got a friend of mine who's actually in chat there. He tried playing with me, or he has the version on the old Xbox One where I have my Xbox Series X version, and it wouldn't let us play together. It came up with errors basically saying that we weren't running the same version. The only thing that can really roll down into is the fact that because we've got two completely different generations of console, it can't create a lobby for us both because it wouldn't be able to emulate both versions of the game, the lower detailed version of the game and the high scaled 60 FPS version of the game. And I can understand why they did that, but it's a wee bit irritating because I really wanted to try the online mode with a friend. I think it would have been fun to run around and cause havoc and carnage with each other. But because of that, I can't add or deduct points off because I didn't get to experience it myself, and it wouldn't be fair for me to knock points off of a review because I didn't specifically get to try out one of its features. So though the game does have online co-op, I can't review it. And it wouldn't be right for me to review it and be and basically just, you know, either slaughter it or praise it. So this review is not incomplete. It's just missing some of the data, and that's the online part of it. Maybe I'll get to experience it at some stage when maybe a friend gets to download the game, buy the game, and we can set a lobby up and test it. But I couldn't test out that hosting feature. I couldn't test out the lobby to see if it ran smoothly with us both. I couldn't test any of that out. I'm sorry. Purchase price, value of content, and digital pricing. Already spoke about the price ranges itself. Do I feel that Evil West is ultimately a £45 game? Yes. Yeah, it can't. Yeah. yeah, I do. I think £45 or within £40 to £45. I think that is a justifiable price. Do I feel this is a £50 game? I think that's stretching it just a little bit too thin. £50 is a bit is a high price. But like I said, with everything in the review, yes, it does indeed have replayability. It took us around about 10 hours to do one playthrough, unlocking 16 over 29 in the achievements. But the value of content, I feel, is there. It is there, especially as you can play co-op with a friend. I wouldn't know. But yes, I do. I think 45 is the maximum you should pay. I don't think £50. I know it's only £5 extra, but you got to look at everything that's presented on the plate. And I don't like the fact that digital prices are more expensive than physical. £42 for this, £50 for the digital version with no game, no case, no nothing. I can't stand that. Digital should always be cheaper. Always. Especially when you're trying to push your customer base to the digital only side of things by making the majority of your consoles digital download only. So, yeah, do better. Anything that I've missed? Right, give me a second. I do like the fact that the game offers you a permadeath option, a true death mode they call it. You die once, game over. I do like the fact that the game also has a option to disable spiders if people have an arachnophobia. I think that's cool. It's a nice little touch. Already spoke about that. Flashing boxes we've already talked about. Replay missions at any time, unless you complete the game, and then it locks you and pushes you into New Game Plus. Replaying showcases what you missed. Yes, we've already talked about that. We had a fire hose glitch on our character that was pretty bad. It doesn't matter if I was holding the actual gun itself or if the thing was on my back. The hose connected to the tank was constantly flickering in and out, constantly like crazy. Patch it. No problem. We've already talked about the forced progression. Boss fights are fun and enjoyable, and some of them are quite challenging as well, so choose your difficulty carefully. I played throughout the entire game in normal mode, and did I find normal mode super hard? No. Did I find it challenging? Yes. Yeah. Will I play it on a harder difficulty? Probably not. Audio effects, already talked about that. You've already talked about that. Yeah, I've hit everything on the plate. Now let me just, because I saw Stephen put a post. I could replay missions in New Game Plus that I already completed. I wasn't getting XP for levels, but I was able to get collectibles. So when you reactivate New Game Plus, you have the ability to go back into the game and choose which mission that you want to go into, but that's running in New Game Plus mode, right? We'll give him a chance to respond. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. That's everything. Now it pretty much just boils down to whether or not I'd recommend the game, and whether or not what I grade it. Yeah, so grade and would I recommend the game. Yes, right. That I think is a mistake, Stephen, because you're forcing the player to play New Game Plus in that level that they probably didn't want to do because they just wanted to find the collectibles, because it did say in the New Game Plus box that it would be tougher and more challenging. My opinion, I don't think the player should be put in that position unless they wanted to trigger New Game Plus. Having it forced on them is not a good strategy, in my opinion. But that's just me. But thank you for the added input there, added context to the review. So, scoring. With everything that we've gone through, first of all, I want to ask everyone in my chat, what would you score it out of 10? Because I've got a lot of people in chat that watched me through the start all the way through to the end. So it would be a good insight to see what some of these people also think. I am going to write my scoring down. And done. Let me put it in a box. Let me put a smiley face by it as well. With a little tongue sticking out. I am happy to score and to close off this review, giving Evil West on the Xbox Series X a phenomenal scoring of 9 out of 10. I thought the game was fantastic. I really did. I had fun throughout the whole game. The point deductors, the force progression, and New Game Plus being forced on the people, to be fair. The rest is all patchable. That's it. The rest is all completely patchable. But I am happy giving this game an easy 9 out of 10. I thought this was an absolutely fantastic game. And I can't wait to see what more Flying Wild Hog do with this game, or even move on to the next game and have Evil West 2 or Evil East or Evil South. Highly recommend playing this game. I do. If you can get it on sale, even better. But I felt that the price was justifiable, and I think the game is also a fantastic game to play. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the review. Leave your comments all down below for me, please. What you thought about the game, what you thought about my review, and just your honest input. And I will talk to you guys in the comments on YouTube there. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys again in the next review. Take care, stay safe, bye.